Okay, okay. So we have क्या विजिबल है स्क्रीन पे?
मैम सिर्फ ये है, आपने अपना ये पार्टिसिपेंट जिस बच्चे में मेरे स्क्रीन पे तो
एक मिनट
यही आ रहा है
दोबारा
सिर्फ।
करती हूँ. Now is it visible? Might
नो
not.
मैम।
Hello.
नो मैम।
गूगल मीट का ही
Hello.
होम पेज शो हो रहा है।
नो मैम।
मैम जस्ट गूगल मीट का पेज शो हो रहा है।
अब हो रही है विजिबल?
यस मैम, यस मैम।
यस मैम।
यस मैम।
Okay. So I was telling you that if we have any or variable x, all right, and following a particular distribution chi r n. Now, as I have shown you
मैम आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है।
statistic,
बहुत ज्यादा
and expected back standard
distortion है
deviation.
मैम।
So if I've shown that on increasing z, sorry, परेशानी हो रही है,
मैम आवाज
ब्रेक हो रही है, पता
मैम
नहीं
आवाज
क्या
ब्रेक हो रही है आपकी।
मैम आवाज
अब आ रही
बिल्कुल
है?
नहीं, बहुत डिस्टॉर्शन हो रहा है।
हेलो,
मैम कभी बीच में ठीक हो जाती है फिर ब्रेक होने लगती है।
हो सकता है नेटवर्क इशू हो रहा हो
मैम
कुछ.
सिग्नल बहुत डिस्टॉर्शन आ रहा है, बार बार ब्रेक हो रही है।
अब आ रही है?
यस मैम अब क्लियर है।
यस मैम।
क्लियर है? ऑल राइट.
यस मैम।
कोई नहीं, हो सकता है नेटवर्क इशू हो कुछ, यहाँ पे नेटवर्क क्लियर हो. Okay, so I was telling you that if our x is following chi-square distribution and we have taken the z statistic of this x, and if we have proved that this z is following standard normal variable, standard normal distribution, or this z is a standard normal variable, how can you prove that this z is a standard normal variable? How can you say that this z is a standard normal variable? Hello?
फाइंडिंग एमजीएफ।
By finding MGF, and if its MGF is equal to, is coming out to be equal to standard normal variables MGF, then we can say that this Z is also following standard normal distribution. It means that this Z is derived from x. We have derived it from x by taking x minus expected value of x. All right, so we can say that this x will follow normal distribution when we will increase the value, when we will increase the size of the sample, that is when we will increase n, we will make it equal to infinity. We can say that our x will follow normal distribution when we will increase the size of n, that is when we will increase n. All right, or we will increase sample size. This is n is what? Hello? So we can say that chi-square will follow normal distribution if we will increase n, that is our degrees of freedom. All right? Hello?
ओके।
ओके मैम।
Okay,
Yes, ma'am, yes.
now we will do characteristic function of chi-square distribution. Do you know the formula of characteristic function? We have done MGF, we have done CGF, and now we are doing characteristic function. You know the formula of MGF? That is phi xt is equals to expected value of e to the power itx. Hello?
यस
Yes,
मैम
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
अभी भी क्लियर नहीं है वॉइस?
नहीं मैम
मैम
क्लियर है।
ओके, MGF क्या होता है? MGF इज एक्सपेक्टेड वैल्यू ऑफ e टू द पावर tx,
e is power
ठीक है,
tx
tx है ना. इफ वी विल टेक I विद e, दिस मतलब ये पावर में I और ऐड कर देंगे, देन व्हाट वी विल गेट, this will
characteristic
become our
function.
characteristic function. Yes, so this is the difference between MGF and characteristic function, that MGF is normal e to the power tx, expected value of e to the power tx, and characteristic function is expected value of e to the power itx.
itx
All right, so when we will do this, और हमें we also know this formula that expected value of e to the power, expected value of any function can also be written as its integral. So e to the power tx or itx, it can be written as expected value integration of exponential itx into fx dx. लिखा जा सकता है ना ये भी हमने करा है.
यस मैम
इस तरह से होता है ना कि expected value of x is equals to x fx dx. All right, so now as our x is e to the power itx in this case, so we will get expected value of e to the power itx into fx dx. All right,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, so what we have done, we have put itx. Now fx is what? Your x, fx is the pdf of fx. fx is the pdf of fx, है ना. And what is x? X is following which distribution?
chi-square
Hello,
distribution.
chi-square distribution. So we will write the PDF of chi-square distribution. So this is the PDF of chi-square distribution. 1/2 n, 1/2 n by 2
n by 2
gamma n by
root
2.
n by 2.
Yes, you know the formula. So now what we will do, we will take out the constant term out. 2 to the power n by 2 and into n by 2 will take this out, and we will get this as e to the power itx minus x upon 2. All right, should I solve it? It was e to the power itx. I have taken this constant term out, 1 upon c. C it means constant, okay, don't get confused with it. And e to the power minus x by 2, x to the power n by 2 minus 1. What we can do is that e to the power, when we will take the LCM, we will get twice of I tx minus x by 2 into x to the power n by 2 minus 1. All right, now we can take x out, है ना. Hello,
Yes, ma'am.
so we can take x out, and what we can get is twice of it minus 1 upon 2 into, hello,
Yes ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
क्या मिलेगा अब हमें? Hello, we will get this as we have taken constant term here, e to the power, what we were getting e to the power one upon c. This is c, this c is for constant term, e to the power x twice of it minus 1 upon 2. This was what we got. We have taken out x common. All right, now we will take minus also common, and we will get this as like this, minus x 1 minus 2t upon 2, and x to the power n by 2 minus 1 was the next term, and into dx. Is it clear to you? हेलो,
Yes,
हेलो,
ma'am.
आर यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट्स और नॉट?
यस मैम।
Yes, ma'am.
ओके, सो
Yes, ma'am.
now do you remember the PDF of beta distribution? Sorry, gamma distribution. हेलो, हेलो, अच्छा यहाँ तक समझ में आ गया?
यस मैम।
Okay, now do you know the gamma distribution, PDF of gamma distribution we have used in deriving the PDF of chi-square distribution? This is gamma distribution is this. Beta to the power alpha upon gamma alpha into x to the power alpha minus 1 e to the power minus beta x. This is the PDF of gamma distribution. Do you remember that?
यस मैम।
See, this is the PDF of gamma distribution. Beta to the power alpha upon gamma alpha x to the power alpha minus 1 e to the power minus beta x. All right. When we will integrate it over its entire limit, we will get this term as equal to what we will get? As equal to, when we will integrate it over its entire range, over its entire limit.
One मैम वन।
1.
One.
1. All right. Then the constant term will come out and we can say that it will become beta to the power alpha gamma alpha integration x l minus alpha minus 1 e to the power minus beta x dx. This is equals to 1. Now this will go up, gamma alpha upon this will go on the right hand side and we will get this x to the power alpha minus 1 integration e to the power minus beta x dx is equals to gamma alpha upon beta to the power alpha. Is it clear? Hello, is it clear how we have got this?
यस मैम।
ठीक है, यहाँ ये जो कांस्टेंट टर्म थी ना, वो हमने राइट हैंड साइड पे जो 1 था वहां ले गए, तो वो गामा अल्फा अपॉन बीटा टू द पावर अल्फा मिल गया हमें। ठीक है, इसकी वैल्यू, इतने पार्ट की वैल्यू हमें। ऑल राइट, इज इट क्लियर नाउ?
जी मैम।
इज इट क्लियर नाउ? प्लीज भाई रिप्लाई तो करो, कुछ बोलो तो, मेरे गला सूख गया बोलते बोलते। हेलो,
यस मैम समझ गए।
okay, okay, now compare this term with this term, then what you will get? This is same, 0 से लेके infinity तक integration x to the power n by 2. It means what is the value of alpha here?
N by 2.
N by 2. And what is the value of beta? E to the power minus beta x. It is in the same form, minus is also there, x is also there. So what is the value of beta?
1 minus 2it by 2.
Yes, exactly, 1 minus 2it by 2. So now what you can say that what will be the value of this integration? Your beta is 1 minus 2it upon 2. So what will be the value of this integration? Compare with this.
मैम x raised to the power alpha minus 1।
कैसे? I am telling you compare it with this equation. All right, this is in the same form.
x n by 2 minus 1 e raised to the power 1 minus 2it upon 2 x
ये तो तुम
dx।
सही बता रहे हो, मैं ये कह रही हूँ इससे तुम्हें ये क्या चीज मिलेगी? राइट हैंड साइड हमने लेफ्ट हैंड साइड हमारे पास आ गई है ना, वी वांट राइट हैंड साइड। राइट हैंड साइड की वैल्यू क्या हो जाएगी? गामा अल्फा अपॉन बीटा टू द पावर अल्फा। क्या हो जाएगी फिर इसकी वैल्यू? अल्फा की वैल्यू कितनी है?
मैम अल्फा की वैल्यू n/2
n/2 मैम।
n/2 and what is the value of beta?
मैम 1 minus
1
2
minus
IT upon 2.
Okay, and this is, we have got this in the form of this. It means that
मैम ये इस पेज को हल्का सा ऊपर कर दीजिएगा मैम, यहाँ पे मैम हल्का सा दिख नहीं रहा, साइड में
ठीक है।
लिखा हुआ। यस मैम।
so we have got this in the form of this equation. All right, it means that हमें ये इसकी फॉर्म में we have got this. Now we can get the value as equal to this equation, gamma alpha upon beta to the power alpha.
Gamma n/2 upon
It will
1
become,
minus 2 IT/2 to the power alpha.
yes, it will
n/2
become gamma n/2, because gamma alpha is what? I
n/2.
told you alpha is n/2 and beta is 1
1 minus 2
twice
IT
of
upon 2
IT 2 to the power alpha, that is
n/2.
n/2. All right,
Yes मैम।
so on solving this we will get n/2 will cancel by this n/2, means यहाँ पे आएगा ना n, ये और 2n/2 will get cancelled with this and we will get 1 minus twice of IT to the power, क्या आ जाएगा?
n upon 2
minus n upon 2.
minus n upon 2 ऊपर जाके।
ठीक है, so this is the characteristic function of chi-square distribution. Only we have, मतलब अगर तुम्हें याद करना हो for learning purpose, the MGF of chi-square distribution is 1 minus 2t
यही
to
था
the power
मैम।
minus n/2. Only
I
I
लग जाएगा
will
इसमें।
come in place of, मतलब with t. All right,
ओके मैम।
is it clear? Is it clear or should I repeat this?
मैम क्लियर है।
Yes, I wanted to know, is it clear to everyone? Rafle, is it clear to you? Rafle Ramdhani,
Yes, ma'am.
is it clear to you?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and Hilal? Hilal Ashraf.
Yes ma'am।
Okay. Where is Shahbaz भी है क्या आज क्लास में? Shahbaz,
Yes, ma'am.
is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so shall we move to the next topic?
Yes, of course, ma'am.
Okay. The next topic is mode of chi-square distribution. So, can anyone tell me what is the mode? What is mode?
मैम रिपीटेड वैल्यू को मोड कहते हैं मैम स्टैट्स में। तो
Repeated value को या फिर
लगातार हाईएस्ट
highest value.
हाईएस्ट कह सकते हैं, रिपीटेड भी कह सकते हैं मैम।
Okay. So we can say that this is the definition of mode. The mode is the value which appears most often in a set of data values. All right. It means if in your class, if the height of about 172 centimeter is of 5 students. All right, and it is the maximum number of it is the height which is possessed by maximum number of students. So we can say that will be the mode. All right, now if x is a discrete or continuous random variable, then mode is the value of x at which its PMF or PDF gives maximum value. Do you remember the curve which we have made of chi-square distribution? We discussed it,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think.
Yes, ma'am.
So have you noticed that at which point the curve was giving the maximum value?
Ma'am, 3 पे.
नहीं, at x is equals to consider that we have n is equals to 5. All right, for 5
Yes, ma'am.
degrees of freedom, what was the value? What was the maximum value which we were getting? At which particular point? At which value of x we were getting the highest point? This highest point. एक minute. I'm opening that PDF. नहीं, it is ये तो इसी में होगा ना. हाँ. Okay, हाँ. See that. See, the curve is increasing till this point and it will reach its maximum at this point, and after that it will decrease. So what is this point where it is reaching the maximum? Like for n is equals to 3, this is the maximum point. For n is equals to 4, this is the maximum point. For n is equals to 5, this is the maximum point. So can you tell me what was that point? We discussed it.
N minus 2.
Yes, it was n minus 2. We wrote this also, na? This implies that for n greater than 2, fx is monotonically increasing for 0 to n minus 2 and monotonically decreasing for n minus 2 to infinity, but it will be maximum at x is equals to n minus 2. So for 5 degrees of freedom, what will be the value of value of x which will give us the maximum point?
3.
3, yes. Yes,
ये
that is
गलत आया था.
ओके. तो मुझे यही पूछना था कि आपको याद है कि आप भूल गए? Now, in order to get mode, what we will do is that we know that if x is following chi-square distribution with n degrees of freedom, then this is its PDF. All right. Now, mode of the distribution is the solution of f dash x is equals to 0 and f double dash x less than equals to 0. Because if you want to find out the maxima, the value of this f double dash x should be less than equals to 0. है ना? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
If we
Yes,
have to
ma'am.
see that whether this x is giving us the maximum value, then the value then f double dash x should be less than 0 at this particular value at x. All right. So how can we find this? For what will we do? First step क्या होना चाहिए? First we will equate f dash x equals to
0.
0.
Zero.
And वो जो value मिलेगी, we will substitute it and we will see that whether we are getting at that particular value f double dash x less than equals to 0. Then we can say that yes, this is the value which is providing us the maxima. All right.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
when this is our f dash x, we have solved it when we were doing curve. है ना? So I don't think there's need to do it again. So this is your f dash x and it should be equals to 0. Equate it equals to 0. Equate this f dash x as equals to 0. What will be the value?
X equals
of
to
x
n
then?
by 2.
X is equals to n minus 2.
N
When we
minus
will
2.
substitute it as equals to 0, we will get n minus 2 minus x is equals to 0, and we can say that x is equals to n minus 2.
Minus 2.
All right. So this is our point which we have got, and in order to prove that this point is giving us the maxima, what we want is that we should say that f double dash x should be less than 0. है ना? So we will again differentiate it.
Put the
All
value of
right.
x in that.
And we will put the value of x in that. So when we will differentiate it and we will put the value of x in that, we will see that we will get this value. F double dash x is equals to 1 minus 2x into fx. You can solve it by yourself. I have written the formula, and if you want, I will. If you are not able to solve it, then please do tell me so that I can help you in solving it. All right?
मैम पहले
Yes.
डिफरेंशिएशन में नहीं समझ में आया कि जीरो की वैल्यू हम लोग पुट कहाँ कर रहे थे?
कौन से जीरो की वैल्यू? ये f डबल डैश x
नहीं, पहले वाले में, पहले डिफरेंशिएशन में।
इसमें f डैश x में
जी।
ओके देखो, जब मैक्सिमा और मिनिमा फाइंड करते हैं किसी पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट का, तो क्या करते हैं हम? पहले हम f डैश x को 0 के
Zero
इक्वल
रखते हैं।
इक्वेट कर देते हैं ना, है ना?
फिर डबल डैश
Yes.
एक्स में उसकी वैल्यू रख देते हैं।
हाँ, तो जब हम इसको 0 के इक्वल इक्वेट करेंगे तो क्या मिलेगा हमें? हमें यही तो मिलेगा n माइनस 2 माइनस एक्स, और ये वाला तो सब 0 में चली जाएंगी टर्म, ठीक है? दिस इज इक्वल्स टू 0, इट विल बिकम इक्वल्स टू 0 ना? हेलो?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Because we are equating it as equals to 0, so we are left with only this term. All right, because we know.
Okay, ma'am. आगे।
Okay, so then we will say that x is equals to n minus 2, because when n minus 2 minus x is equals to 0, इसको इधर लेके जाएंगे तो we will say that n minus 2 is equals to x. All right, so second time भी इसको जब हम इसको differentiate करेंगे, ठीक है, इस फॉर्मूले से डिफरेंशिएट करेंगे। अगर तुम लोगों से हो पा रहा है इट इज सॉल्व, देन इट्स फाइन, अदरवाइज प्लीज टेल मी, मतलब प्लीज इन्फॉर्म मी लेटर। जब भी अगर तुम ट्राई करना क्लास के बाद नहीं सॉल्व कर पाओगे तो आई विल हेल्प यू एंड देन वी विल सॉल्व इट इन द क्लास। ऑल राइट, सो f double dash x, we will get this value, and as it is coming negative, so what we can say is that this point is giving us
मैक्सिमम वैल्यू।
maxima point of maxima. So this value of x is equals to n minus 2 is the point which is giving us the mode of the chi-square distribution. All right.
ओके मैम।
Okay. Now our next topic is limiting distribution. Limiting तो हो गया था, the additive property of chi-square distribution. All right, am I audible? या अभी भी आवाज में clarity नहीं है? Okay, so additive property of chi-square distribution, हमने जब we were discussing the unit, मतलब we have just started the unit, so I told you that if we have number of chi-square variable x1, x2, x3, all right, and if your x1 is following, if the degree of freedom of x1 is 1, x2 is 1, x3 is 1, then the resultant of that sum of x1 plus x2 and x3 will follow chi-square distribution, and the degree of freedom, उसकी degree of freedom कितनी हो जाएगी?
ऐड हो जाती है मैम, शायद सारी डिग्री
ऐड हो जाती है, यस ऐड हो जाती है। तो अब इसकी हम ना मतलब इसका प्रूफ देखेंगे कि वेदर जो हमने कहा था कि इसका प्रूफ अब करेंगे हम। तो दिस इज कॉल्ड एज एडिटिव प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ chi स्क्वायर वेरिएट्स, एंड द अदर थिंग इज दैट कि दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक, इट कम्स इन एग्जाम, मतलब इट यूजुअली कम्स, अब पता नहीं इस साल आएगा कि नहीं आएगा, बट समटाइम्स इट कम्स। The sum of independent chi-square variate is also a chi-square variate. All right. More precisely, if xi are independent chi-square variates with n degrees of freedom, it means that x1 It means that x1 is having n1 degrees of freedom, x2 is having n2 degrees of freedom, x3 is having n3 degrees of freedom. So we will say that sum of x1, x2, x3, x1, x2, x3 is also a chi-square distribution with how many degrees of freedom?
6.
6 नहीं, n1 plus n2 plus n3. अब ये थोड़ी तुम्हें पता है कि n1 कितना है,
मैम
n2 कितना है. It is
तो
just
मैम
n1
n1
plus
प्लस
n2
n2
plus.
n3 रहेंगे ना.
हाँ, अगर मान लो if I specify it more specific, then if x1 is having 4 degrees of freedom, x2 is having 5 degrees of freedom, and x3 is having 6 degrees of freedom, then you can specify it with some number key. Now, what is the
15.
10, 15, okay, हाँ 15. कि if your sum of x1 plus x2 plus x3 is a chi-square distribution with how many degrees of freedom? 4 plus
15.
5 plus 6, that is 15. All right. So अब इसका proof क्या है? You can see that the sum of independent chi-square variate is also a chi-square variate. So more precisely, if xi are independent chi-square variates with ni degrees of freedom, then summation xi is also a chi-square variate with summation ni degrees of freedom. All right. So what we will do is that first we will find the MGF. The MGF of x1. It will be hello.
Yes, ma'am.
See, what will be the MGF of, we have to find m summation xit, that is the m of this summation xi, है ना?
Yes, ma'am.
And we have done this, we can write it as like this, mx up to mxn t. Do you remember this formula?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Okay, so what is the MGF of mx1t?
Ma'am, 1 minus 2t raised to the power minus n by 2.
Minus n by 2 नहीं होगा, x1 has n1 degrees of freedom, तो क्या हो जाएगा? 1 minus 2t to the power
minus n1 by
minus
n1 by 2.
2.
hello minus n1 by 2. And what will be the minus n1 by 2? And what will be the MGF of mx2t?
Ma'am, n2 by 2.
Minus n.
1 minus 2t to the power
Minus n2 by 2.
n2 by 2. Yes.
Follow करता
Similarly,
रहेगा
we
ये
can
तो.
write for all the, we can write it as for all the values of
mxit.
minus n2 mxkt, where mx1t is 1 minus 2t minus n1 by 2, 1 minus 2t minus n2 by 2, and this mxkt will be 1 minus 2t to the power minus nk by 2. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
we have, how many variables are there? We have k variables. All right. So when we will take we can take 1 minus 2t common, and it will become minus n1 plus
n1
n2
plus
plus up
n2
to
plus
nk divided by 2.
2.
है ना?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
nk. सारी जितनी भी वैल्यूज हैं, देखो बेस इज सेम, सो ऑल द पावर्स विल बी एडेड. है ना?
Yes, ma'am. Right.
When your base is same, 2 to the power 3 into 2 to the power 5 into 2 to the power 6, it will become 2 to the power 3 plus 5 plus 6. है ना?
Yes, ma'am.
जी मैम.
And this will become 1 minus 2d to the power minus summation ni upon 2.
Yes, ma'am.
So what we have got? We have got that the resultant of this sum of this chi-square variate is following a chi-square distribution with degrees of freedom as the sum of their degrees of freedom of the variables which we have taken in consideration. Is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
This is the resultant which we have got is the is the MGF of chi-square distribution with degrees of freedom as the sum of the degrees of freedom of all the variables which we have taken in consideration. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
So this was the property, this was the additive property of chi-square distribution. Is it clear to all?
Yes, ma'am.
If you are having any doubt, then you can ask me. Okay, thank you so much. So now you can leave the class.
Okay, ma'am.
And please give me the attendance on the group. And still, if you're having some problem, so please do inform me right now or after the class.
Okay.
If you are still having some problem, or if you are having the problem right now, you can tell me now only. Hello.
Okay,
मैम हेलो
ma'am.
हेलो मैम
जी बोलिए.
मैम
You are audible,
मैम
please.
टेस्ट कब होगा? यस मैम आई एम ऑडिबल.
ओके
भाई मैम ने तो
टेस्ट मैं आपको
टेस्ट
बता
कह
दूंगी
दिया
अभी,
है
ठीक
कि
है?
मैम 50% असेसमेंट वैसे
50% असेसमेंट असाइनमेंट का
और
होगा,
क्लास पर
लेकिन मैंने